Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah children. Jazakumullah khairan for joining us today for assembly. Now assembly today is very different from how we normally have it. Today unfortunately you're not in school and we are really missing all of you. So we've got to have assembly in this way where I've done, this is actually a pre-recorded so I'm not live so you can't speak to me, but I've done this recording from beforehand and I'm going to try and keep going with the assemblies which we normally had on Wednesdays. Now, today's assembly is going to be around your mothers, my mother, your mother, everyone's mothers. And the reason for this is that last Sunday was Mother's Day, was celebrated, and I think it's important that we all understand the roles our mothers and our parents have in general, because we're all at home for longer now. We're not coming to school, so it's important that we understand and how we should behave with our parents and what rights they have over us and what our responsibilities are. So I'm going to go through this PowerPoint and I'd like you to listen in. Unfortunately, Class Dojo only allows me to upload videos that are 8 minutes long, so we can't have our normal half an hour assemblies. They're going to only be, we're going to be rather shorter. So I'm going to try and get through this as quickly as possible. So, I think I jumped through. Here we are. Okay, the aims of today's assembly. Number one is to understand the history behind Mother's Day, and number two is to reflect on the rights of one's parents. And we're going to try and look at this from the angle of, well, from the Islamic perspective, as we always do in our assemblies. The origins of Mothering Sunday or Mother's Day. So where did this come from and why is this celebrated? So in the 16th century, Christianity was very widespread in Europe, and Christians would return to their mother church, which was their main church in the town, or the church where they had been baptized, or a cathedral, which would be a very big church. And where were their people, and where would they return from? Well, in the olden days, children would leave home often as young as 10 years old, and they would work in domestic service jobs. Now think about, what are domestic service jobs? I'm hoping you're doing some chores at home and helping mum and dad, but I think you understand that this would be slightly different though, because they would work as servants. So if you're a child working in domestic service, you would have been a servant or a maid for a wealthy family. So imagine having to do all their cleaning and so on. And you would live and work there and wouldn't be allowed to come home very often, so you'd live there as well along with working there. On Mothering Sunday, it was one of those few days that these servants, these young children, they were allowed to go home and visit their mothers. And obviously they were very excited to meet their mothers, so on the way home they would pick flowers and give these to their mothers. And people still do that on Mother's Day. They still give flowers to their mothers. I wonder if any of you have ever given any flowers to your parents. In the UK, Mother's Day is always on the fourth Sunday of Lent, which is a Christian celebration type, Christian celebration, and takes place 3 weeks before Easter Sunday. Now, with Lent, very quickly, it is a time where Christians they spend time fasting. Now, we've also got some time coming up where we're going to be fasting very soon during the month of Ramadan. Ramadan, understandably, this will be very different. You won't be in school. We're not sure about whether there'll be activities happening in the masajid, but whether they happen in the masajid or not. Remember, Ramadan is a time where we connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so we should still do whatever we would have done in the masjid, but do it at home. So spend time reciting Quran and doing good things and all the good things that and in fact we've even given packs for you to take home to raise money for charity. Anyway, I'm going to rush through because we're running out of time. We only have 8 minutes. Nowadays, even Mother's Day nowadays, people still, they are thankful to not just their own mothers, but even other women in their families who do many things for them. So, for example, a grandma, an aunt, a carer, and so on. So these are the different things that people do. There are these people. They are loving, they're caring, they're helpful. They do all of these different things for us, and to return that favour, we show gratitude and thanks to them. Now, even though Mother's Day is celebrated once a year, but we believe that no, actually Mother's Day, we should be respecting and loving our parents every single day. So, and we should be happy that Allah has blessed us with these parents. What is the status of mother in Islam? It's important for us to know that from our religion, what does Allah tell us and how important are our mothers in Islam? Well, I'm going to read a hadith for you. A man came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said, "O Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who among the people is the most worthy of my good companionship?" Meaning, who should I be the best with? So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Your mother." The man said, "Then who?" The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Then your mother." The man further asked, "Then who?" The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam repeated again, "Then your mother." The man asked again, "Then who?" The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Then your father." So 3 times the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told this man that your mother deserves your good companionship. Just shows the greatness of a mother in Islam. In the hadith, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that Jannah, your heaven, lies under the feet of your mother. Again, if somebody wants to get to that Jannah, then they have to serve their parents. I'm going to finish here because we're running out of time. Jazakumullah khairan for participating. Just before I finish, just a reminder, obviously things are very difficult at the moment. I know you're all at home, but remember to do all the important things. Remember to listen to your parents. Please, please, please complete the work that's given to you, and also keep on top of the hygiene that we've been speaking about at school. Stay at home, don't go outside, because we need to stop the disease from spreading. Make sure you wash your hands properly. At the end of this video, I'm also going to post up the video on how to wash your hands. So remember how to wash your hands properly, do it properly for the amount of time required. Jazakumullah khairan.